Next, we'll talk about Lost Lake. Lost Lake is civilization cherishes. People in this region love to go to Lost Lake. People in this area love to make songs about Lost Lake. They love to go there. It's just a magical place. This is a photograph that's become quite famous. I know that your alliance here uses it. This was back in the era where we were losing a lot of loons to lead toxicosis. So that's how this image came to be. This was a long-term territorial female at Lost Lake up and through 2007. So you can see the yellow band here over the blue band as identifying that particular adult. And it was kind of interesting because we think there was some relationship between this particular bird and the long-term territorial female on Bonaparte Lake, because the Bonaparte Lake adult or female would come up to Lost Lake and actually feed this bird's chicks. This is strange. We've never ever seen anything like that before, but we know who these birds are because of their identity. We've got the bands to prove it. And, you know, we've told other loon biologists about this and they think we're crazy. They understand that we don't have a biology degree. I'm a geologist. She's a nurse. What do we know about loons? Well, we've just probably spent the most time among common loons of anybody else on Earth. So I think we know what we're talking about. We've done thousands and thousands of observations. We've kept records since 1996. So I think we know what we're talking about. And that was an event that, you know, just mystifies other people when they listen to it.
Yeah, I wanted to add just a little bit about the Bonaparte female. We know that it was her that came up to Lost Lake. And of course, the pair at Lost Lake, they're trying to chase her away and get her off the lake because they had 2 chicks. And suddenly, the Bonaparte female, the pair is down at the north end of Lost Lake, and we look, and here's the Bonaparte female. She's headed to the south end. She's got 1 chick she's calling, and she's headed down here by the campground. And she's talking to it, and then the pair, they're down there, and they're feeding the other chick. So the Bonaparte female, I'm going, oh my gosh, usually when a rogue loon, or they call it a rogue loon, it's not a territorial loon, will try to kill chicks, but not the Bonaparte female. She's busy feeding this little chick. She lost her chicks that year. So she's up at Lost Lake feeding this other little, this 1 chick that followed her. It was quite amazing to see that.
So this was a sad event in the year 2014. We were photographing there. And I think, Carl, this is the time when you photographed there as well. Wasn't it 2014? You photographed with your kayak and sent us some images that showed this loon in this predicament. It had fishing line and a flasher embedded in its mouth. And it happened to migrate at the end of the year or went elsewhere, and the outcome.
2 weeks later it migrated.
And the outcome of that bird is unknown, but certainly didn't have a good prognosis. There you can see a close-up of that complication. And here's Madeline again, star again. Here she is at age 6 at Lost Lake in 2012. She's helping out and assisting with the banding. This is our lifelong friend Darwin Long from Biodiversity Research Institute, the biologist that year that's helping out. So there's Madeline. She had a tremendous start way back when and continues to this day. Very talented girl. We expect a lot from her in the future. And here she is actually discharging the chick. It's time to go. You can see the new bands on that bird right there. We'll have to look up and find out the identity of that bird. That's Madeline.
I think it's pink over red or red over pink.
So this is a territorial male at Lost Lake. They're so territorial they don't even want Canada geese to be on the shoreline. So he dove about right here, went under the water, and came up about right here. And full wings spread and making all kinds of noise and splashing in the water. And the geese were just mortified and flew over the So the loon had his leg back.
You know, and the first year, all the loons do this. They don't want other birds on the lake, and especially geese. And the first year at Fairy Lake, we could not understand why we would count 26 geese up in the trees surrounding Clear Lake. But the male would do his daily or his often rounds, and any geese that came down on the water and thought they were going to nest there, wrong. They were up in the tree.
So Lost Lake is a lake that we've just become to adore over the years, just like a lot of you folks have. It's very scenic. In fact, its shoreline and surrounding areas is probably the most scenic of all of the lakes that we go to. And we always feel a wonderful time period when we can go to Lost Lake and spend time there. This image is a pair in late spring. You can see the shorelines are just so photogenic there. This is a nesting common loon of the southwest shoreline of Lost Lake. This is back when there weren't many bald eagles around. Now common loons can't nest like this because they're just too exposed. So we'll show you images of how they nest now at Lost Lake here in a few slides. So look at these beautiful backgrounds at Lost Lake, just an absolute treasure of a place. We were there on April 13, 2001, the day that it started to snow at Lost Lake. At that point in time, we'd been photographing common loons and studying them for 5 years. We hadn't had a single image before of loons in snowfall. So we recognized this as a very, very wonderful moment. We started photographing. That was back in the film era. We didn't switch over to digital until 2003. So we had 20-some rolls of film that day at Lost Lake, and 3 cameras at the time. And we started shooting, and we got shots like this, common loons in snowfall, which is just magic. And then look at this image. Just an incredible one that we cherish. This has been one of our calendar images over the years for various outlets. So spring snowfall at Lost Lake was truly magical, and we have never since been able to replicate this day at that time. We shot up all of our film. At the end of that day, we had 4 inches of water in the bottom of the boat, and to my chagrin, there was a camera down in that 4 inches of water. So we lost the camera that day. It's one we just hadn't kept track of. I can tell other stories.
About when I threw the camera?
Yeah, like that one. So we've banded over the years at Lost Lake, and Dan, you'll remember this night when we were banding there and it started to storm and we had a lot of lightning. This was an image that I captured, that Strawberry Mountain there that you can see. And Dan and Berta actually lived back in this direction on the northeastern end of Bonaparte Lake. Just an absolutely beautiful area. So this is the 2017 nest site now at Lost Lake. And 18. And you can see now the loons have become much wiser. They're back in the cattails. They're back in areas where it's not so easy for bald eagles to get them. And they're more successful. We put these natural avian guards in around the nest that you can see, these vertical dead trees that we put in. We put these in, and there's a photographer up there that doesn't like them, so he pulls them out. And we've had some words with him over the years, but I think we've formed a mutual agreement now to leave things as we put them. He's trying to sell images and calendars, and we're trying to save loons. I hope we win. This is the successful nest site at Lost Lake in 2017. You can see the broken shell fragments down in the nest hole. They incubate for what I said before, 26 to 27 days. On the first day, the chick is hatched. It tumbles into the water and it can swim immediately. It has no trouble, do I move the left foot and then the right foot. It just starts to swim. And within an hour or two, it's already diving. It's just a magical thing to see. Starts feeding little tiny nymphs, within that time period as well. So they grow up very quickly. We'll talk a little bit about Bonaparte Lake, and this will wrap up our stories for the evening. The male is not banded here at Bonaparte Lake South. Bonaparte Lake is the first lake of all of our territories in Northeast Washington to become a dual territorial lake for common loons. We now have a nesting pair at North Bonaparte Lake and at South Bonaparte Lake. It's got a natural division in the lake where this little delta from the stream to the west has created kind of a barrier there. And the southern 1/3 of the lake is now a new territory. So this is the pair there. And if you take a look at these bands, you'll see that it's blue over white here. And we checked and we realized that that was the former territorial female at Lost Lake. And she went down to Bonaparte Lake and with her mate formed that new territory there. We think it was because of the intense bald eagle pressure that was taking place at Lost Lake at the time.
She was not successful, and they had so many problems with eagles at Lost Lake getting chicks. And that one year, what was it, 16, there were like 4 territorial pairs of adults fighting over Lost Lake, and 2 males ended up, one, Jeff, I think, picked up, had an eye infection and couldn't see and died of starvation because he needs dual vision, both eyes working, and the other male had a bill that was almost torn off, the upper bill. It was like this, and we don't know where he went. We never did get a carcass or anything back from him, but he was not banded. But there was a big upheaval on Bonaparte and a lot of male exchanges of locations, and also Lost Lake Pair came down to Bonaparte. And Lost Lake was empty for several months until another loon came in later.
So now it's Amelia and X on the north, the former Lost Lake female and her mate on the south. So here's their nest location on a huge platform prepared by Matt Marsh for the Forest Service. And this is where the loons chose to nest. And that thing floats very well. And this is a very high wind area, as Dan, you know. We see 3-foot waves on Bonaparte Lake that are fairly common. And this particular platform just weathers those waves without complication.
It's a little, it has no protection. It's a little big. So what we did with it this last year was, before the loons nested, we moved it into the cattails. It needed not to be sitting in the middle of the lake where all the fishermen and kayakers and all that activity are going, oh, look at this platform here, and they had easy access to it on either side. So the loon was always with a head down position, trying to hide. So we moved it, so this year it's now back in the cattails, and fishermen and people can't quite get to the nest.